The klaxons fell silent across Sector 7 of the Galactic Military Academy, and Mia stood in the center of the training arena, her chest heaving with exertion. Sweat dripped from her brow, stinging her eyes as she surveyed the carnage around her. 23 combat drones lay scattered across the metallic floor, their optical sensors dark, limbs twisted at impossible angles. Trial terminated, the automated voice announced. Cadet Mia Chen failed. The word echoed through the chamber like a death sentence. Mia's shoulders sagged. 6 months of preparation? Countless sleepless nights studying alien combat techniques, and she'd still failed. Around the observation deck, she could see her fellow cadets, Kevin among them, watching with a mixture of pity and relief that it hadn't been them down there. But then Kevin noticed something odd. The 3 Krolix instructors, who'd been monitoring the trial from their elevated platform, hadn't moved. Not even a twitch. Their reptilian features were frozen, their usually keen eyes wide with what looked like shocked instructors. Kevin called out, his voice cutting through the murmur of the assembled cadets. Shouldn't we proceed to the debrief? The lead instructor, Combat Master Jirak, slowly turned his massive head. His scales, normally a deep emerald, had paled to an almost sickly lime color. When he spoke, his translator struggled to capture the tremor in his voice. That human, he whispered, just survived a Tier 9 combat scenario. The observation deck fell silent. But she failed, another cadet protested. The system said. The system, Jirak interrupted, his claws gripping the railing so hard it began to bend, was calibrated for failure at 87% casualty rate. The trial was designed to test how a soldier responds to impossible odds, how they choose to die with honor. He paused, his third eyelid blinking rapidly. No one has ever. One before. Kevin felt his blood run cold. He looked down at Mia, who was staring up at them in confusion, still catching her breath. The truth crashed over him like a tidal wave. Humans didn't know. Earth had only joined the Galactic Coalition 5 years ago. They'd been told this was a standard combat assessment. The second instructor, her name unpronounceable in human tongues, stepped forward. In the 3,000 years of this academy's operation, she said slowly, across 547 member species, only 12 cadets have ever eliminated more than 8 drones in a Tier 9 scenario. The record was 14. She neutralized 23. Jirak finished, his voice barely audible. Kevin's mind raced back through the trial footage playing on the observation screens. He'd watched Mia move through the arena like water flowing around stones. Never were the drones expected, always 3 moves ahead. She'd used their own formations against them, turned their numerical advantage into a tactical liability. The way she'd improvised weapons from broken drone parts, the calculated risks, the absolute refusal to surrender when surrounded. Double quotes. Why did the system declare failure? Kevin demanded, anger rising in his chest. If she exceeded all expectations, because the parameters don't account for victory, the third instructor admitted, his quad-jointed arms hanging limply. The scenario was theoretically unwinnable. We never programmed success conditions because we never imagined they'd be necessary. Down in the arena, Mia had caught enough of the conversation to understand. Failed. The word still rang in her ears, but now it felt hollow. She thought of her grandmother, who'd survived the Mumbai crisis with nothing but a pipe and determination. She thought of humanity's history, a species that had clawed its way up from caves to starships, that had survived ice ages and plagues and wars. Failure wasn't in their vocabulary. Impossible was just a challenge not yet overcome. Cadet Chen, Jirak's voice boomed across the arena, formal and stiff. Please remain in position. We need to recalibrate. The observation deck erupted into chaos. Cadets from a dozen different species pressed against the transparent aluminum barrier, trying to get a better look at the human who just rewritten their understanding of combat. Kevin pushed through the crowd, making his way down to the arena floor. Mia, he called out, jogging across the debris field. Do you have any idea what you just did? She looked at him with those fierce brown eyes, confusion and frustration warring across her features. Yeah, I failed. Spectacularly, apparently. Kevin couldn't help but laugh, a sound that bordered on hysteria. You didn't fail. You did the impossible. That trial. It was meant to kill you. To test how you'd face certain death. And you just won. That's insane, Mia said. But even as she spoke, she could see the instructors frantically consulting with what looked like senior academy officials materializing on holographic displays. Why would they design a test meant to be failed? Because that's how war works out here, Kevin explained, his expression growing serious. The galaxy has been at war with the Void Collective for centuries. Sometimes, the mission is just to die slowly enough that your squad can escape, to buy time with your life. They were testing our capacity for noble sacrifice. Mia felt a chill despite the arena's heat. But humans don't think like that. No, Kevin agreed, a grim smile crossing his face. We don't. We look at impossible odds and say, watch this. We lose battles, but somehow win wars. We turn last stands into legends and impossible odds into Tuesday. He glanced up at the observation deck, where the entire Academy leadership seemed to be assembling. I think you just reminded them why they recruited us in the first place. Combat Master Jirak's voice cut through the arena once more, but this time it carried a different weight: respect, maybe even fear. Cadet Mia Chen, on behalf of the Galactic Military Academy, I hereby reverse the trial assessment. Grade: Exceptional. Classification: Tier 1 Combat Specialist. He paused, his scales slowly returning to their normal color. And may the Void Collective have mercy on their souls, because humanity clearly has no concept of the word impossible. As cheers erupted from the human cadets and stunned silence reigned among the others, Mia finally allowed herself to smile. She hadn't failed. She'd just shown the galaxy what one human could do when told something couldn't be done. She'd proven that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology or numbers. It was the stubborn, beautiful refusal to accept defeat.